Alright, early wake-up call is 4:20 right now. Ironically, the time that I woke up yesterday to get to the airport to start this whole thing. Little did I know, 24 hours. I got about 2 hours of sleep at that Walmart and got woke up to not my alarm. In fact, it was, I would like to figure out exactly what part of town that Walmart was in, because it was 7 semi-automatic rounds that went off in quick succession. Somebody was popping off a gun close enough that I could wake up to it, and that was my go. I realized, okay, cool, I guess good a reason as any to get back on the road. See you, Cleveland. Thanks for the nap. Thanks for the wake up. Bye-bye. We're taking another stop here, still in Ohio, pulled over by a gas station off the turnpike. Finally the sun is just starting to come up. You can see that over there. You can see dusk has now turned to dawn. The night is finally ending. But guys, that last stretch from Cincinnati to wherever I am now was the last bit of dark driving, and my eyes weren't doing too well. I was seeing double quite a lot and having a hard time keeping my head up. I think a lot of that just had to do with not driving in the light for so long and just the constant repetitive lights and lines. So I'm gonna duck out for another hour or two here just in the parking lot of the gas station before I hit back onto the road, and then at that point we'll have some legitimate daylight and hopefully a little bit sharper on the old visual spectrum. We'll catch you then. Alright, we got another couple hours in. I think that should be enough. We're gonna hit the road, get out of Ohio, keep heading west. And now we got the sun on our side. Let's get this day. So this is my first time getting a look at Ohio in the daytime. Everything up to this point's been nighttime driving, so this is what I'm seeing right now in the great old state of Ohio. So as I was coming into Indiana, there was a pretty cool towering looking cumulonimbus cloud I wanted to make sure to grab some footage of as we were going towards it, just because it was a really interesting formation, and a part of it was stack-like, just going straight up. And interesting as it was from a distance, when we got close, we started feeling the wrath of it right away. And basically directly underneath that stack was just the most monsoon-like storm that I've hit in this whole trip so far, which is crazy because I figured that sort of stuff was probably more likely closer to the coast. But as we're getting inland, technically, I guess we still got the Great Lakes above us, not too far. Maybe that had something to do with the barometric phenomenons. But yeah, we got hammered. That was pretty nuts. There was a couple points where the wipers couldn't keep up, and you're basically like squinting through a blur of water trying to pass 70 cars. Wild. Coming into Illinois now. It is 11:40 Eastern, so just about noon, and just coming into Illinois. This is a very traffic-heavy entry into this state. Of all the states I've been through so far, this one by far has the craziest traffic on the road, on the routes I've taken. 4-lane highway, and it is packed at not even noon on a Sunday. So trying to pay attention to the road instead of recording a little bit more on this one. We're finally at the point where the GPS is saying I have 1 day till destination. So it is also midday Eastern, so 12 noon Eastern, and I am in Illinois, and according to the signs I think I'm hitting Iowa next. So with 1 day left, and I need to get this car to Vegas to return it on time by about 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. I'm cutting it pretty close. Now this is what I don't know. I don't know for sure, and I would assume that's the 1 p.m. I think I said a.m. The 1 p.m. that I'm supposed to return it to is actually local time. That would make sense to me. I hope so. That might buy me a couple hours because I'm going in the direction that I make up time in the day. But if it's not, I've got like a 1 hour window to make this Cannonball Run within the time that I rented the car. And I'm probably going to have to sleep still. We got 24 hours left on the clock. Alright, so it's about 2:30 on Sunday Eastern time, which means, this is why that's important, we are about halfway through all of the driving. As far as driven hours are concerned, we're at the halfway mark. Approximately 21 and a half hours of drive time into this trip. So it's been fun. This is what it's all about. Now I'm at the point we just get to do it all again. Do it all again with different scenery. So we made it this far. It's like that old story of the lady who tried to swim the English Channel, got too tired halfway and swam her way back. We're halfway now. Gotta finish it. Let's do this.
Welcome to Iowa.
Hey Iowa, why are you so rainy though? gas stop here in Iowa. Need to pick up some gas, and I realized that I need to make sure to time this just right. So I have never in the history of Because Jiu-Jitsu missed posting a meme for a day, and this is probably my opportunity. So I'm gonna take a few minutes to turn this into this. Alright, it is 4:40 Eastern Time. We're in Central Time right now though, so locally we're 3:30. Chasing that sun again today, and we are coming up to the end of Iowa. Should be coming into Arkansas next. So I get the feeling, I believe Arkansas is going to be a long one in the direction that I'm crossing it. I get the feeling that Arkansas is going to be my night driving session. So not going to see a whole lot of the sights of Arkansas besides the pitch black darkness. Nebraska. We pulled over at a Nebraska McDonald's, the most American food I think that exists, and we are, coming up on 8 p.m. Eastern time, so it's 7 p.m. here. It looks like the sun's starting to come down. Thankfully, this is one of the only states I've been to so far where it isn't completely cloud cover, so the sun's sort of hanging up in there, but the vampire hours are coming. They're coming. I'm going to try to run through as much of the early night as possible before having to stop, because I don't want to sleep early into the night and then get up and have to drive more dark hours. I would rather try to get those out with the last of my energy today, get a little bit of sleep in those early morning hours, and then start into where we can, have one or two of those left by the time we're getting that dawn started. And this is the last leg of the trip. Once this nighttime session is over, Google Maps has us arriving in the morning, like between 9 and 11, depending on my sleeping and traffic and stuff, in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's get some. Oh man, so you can tell that the sun is starting to wane on us now. This is Sunday night upcoming in Nebraska. We just basically got into Nebraska. We had that stop at McDonald's, gassed up, and we're going to be rolling into the night here. And I'm noticing that this is like literally the most boring stretch of the whole drive so far. It's literally just field on either side. I might as well be in Saskatchewan right now. So at the end of my consciousness session here, before I'm gonna have to pull over for my next 2-hour nap, I've got the most boring, flat, scenery-less drive that's gonna lead into the night where I can't see anything anyways. Great. Alright, Alright, we're for real coming into the nighttime now. The sun has, judging by the horizon, about a quarter inch before it sets. And then it is black. And I'm starting to wonder, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that I'm not going to be able to get this car to its destination location within the 48-hour window of the rental, which would mean that I catch another charge. And I don't know if that means that it's just a late charge or if they're going to charge me for another full day. And if it's the latter, that definitely sucks for my bank account, but it does oddly give me some latitude to wander around Las Vegas, depending on when my flight departs, which I still don't know. I haven't been able to, and I won't be able to choose which flight I'm going to take from Vegas to Calgary until I know that I've got my test results. I know how late on Tuesday is too late. That would be once my 72-hour window from the test elapses. So I got to have my flight before then for sure. But, you know, I can't book it for whatever, 3 o'clock on Monday if my test results are in on 4. You know what I mean? So it is A before B, except after C or something. I think I'm alert, but I don't know. I'm getting like a little bit wobbly woozy. We'll see. I guess stand by. Alright, we just got into Colorado. This is coming down to the home stretch now. We are well into the night. It is, as far as Eastern time is concerned on this clock, 20 minutes to midnight. So that makes it sound later than it is naturally here. So the time zone that I'm actually in Mountain Standard Time now, is only 10 p.m. So this is going to be a long night. This is going to be the longer of the 2 night periods compared to the last one, which was closer to what the actual clock was showing, which is what my body is feeling after naturalizing for a week to Eastern time. So it feels like midnight to me right now, but it's only 10, so the sun's going to be taking a long nap for me. Good news is we are down to, if I check my GPS here, get back, we're 13 and a half hours left. All right, so at this point, from the time that I started driving from Maine till now, I've been driving for 35 of the last 39 hours. That's an insane number. Insane. This is getting to be like mental toughness time for me for the last while. Like, I was considering going to take my 2-hour break again like 2 hours ago, but I told myself, no, I gotta at least get to Colorado. I'm just gonna get to Colorado and then I'm gonna do it. And I pulled a move, a smart one, surprisingly, where I've been listening to podcasts for the most part to stay awake and stay alert, but the problem is as I start to get naturally drowsy, especially these heavier podcasts, like, I'm sorry, Lex Friedman, I'd love to learn more about AI and the future of artificial intelligence and robots, but at this stage, it is a tantamount to a sleep aid. So I had to turn him off, and the smart move is I thought, what can awaken my mind, which is starting to go into these dopey, drowsy stages, and I'm telling myself internally, I'm really tired, which doesn't help when I'm actually starting to get tired. I need to tell myself I'm awake, I can do this, get that wind, you're not tired, you can do this. And so the smart move was I found some old music on Spotify, and I mean old to me. So this was back in 1997, probably the most formative CD I ever had growing up as a kid was Foo Fighters' The Shape and the Color. Color and the Shape and the Color, one of those. It is still one of my all-time favorites. It's probably, if someone was to ask me what my number one banger album was, that like don't skip a track banger album, it was that one, bar none. That would be top of the list. So that one woke my brain up. No energy drink required this time. It woke me wide up. I actually sang until I lost my voice, and then I've been basically trying to think, like, what is that next album from the good old days that'll keep my brain awake? And I'm on my second one now, and I'm doing great. Like, it's keeping me wide awake. You can probably hear it in my voice. I don't sound drowsy. I feel quite alert. And you know, once I started noticing myself telling myself I was tired, I did a podcast while I was out at the Origin Immersion Camp with my new buddy, JP Donnell, who is an elite Navy SEAL sniper, trained and served under Jocko Willink over in Afghanistan and Iraq. And I did the podcast with him, learned a bunch about him before, during, and after it. I was listening to some podcasts with him on the drive, some of those earlier podcasts from yesterday, and the guy is just mentally tough. He just is, and it's inspiring to me. So when I feel myself telling myself that I'm weak or I should take it easy, I can't do it when I've been this close. I'm not far enough removed from JP's impression upon me when it comes to mental toughness, where, like, he was talking about BUDS, the Hell Week, where they've got to basically do high intensity exercise for 5 days with no sleep. So what's 2 days? What's 2 days sitting in a car listening to people talk and looking at new things? Like, this is easy. I can do this. So I don't know. I'm feeling really good. I'm gonna keep blasting through while I've got this energy, and I really hope to be able to nail the rest of this trip without taking a nap. But all that being said, I'm not gonna do something crazy. If it starts getting bad, I'm definitely gonna take my nap. But I feel like I'm on a good timeline right now to actually get to Vegas for the drop off within that 48 hours of when I rented this car. So we're crossing Denver right now in Colorado. Big freeway, was a 6-lane, I guess, and just past the craziest crash that must have happened like maybe a minute before I got there. It looked like a car got completely totaled by a semi. Like, I had to swerve through a couple lanes to miss the chunks of car that were all over the road. And the only reason I saw that coming was because the semi that had hit it was pulled over to the side smoking and had its hazards on, so I could see the hazards in the distance in the dark. And so I was, trying to pull away from where it was on the side, and then I noticed all the crap all over the ground and had to like pull a high-speed slalom around all that stuff. And dude, that car is wrecked. That was 100% a fatality. It was like completely caved in on the driver's side, and the engine was on fire. Total mess. Wild. Denver had another surprise for me near the end. Surprise for me because I wasn't expecting it. I've heard that Denver's the mile-high city, And that makes sense once you get past the actual city from the east and get to the west end, because it just goes straight down, like crazy grades, as well as like swerving and slaloming. It's nuts. Guardrails on both sides. There's giant mines on the side of like a bare ass mountain. It's pretty insane. Like I was not expecting this, and it's if I wasn't awake already, which I was, it woke me right the hell up. Really, to be honest, pretty fun. It was like go-karting through this thing at full blast, unexpectedly. And dude, like, bravo, Denver. Denver, you be wildin'. That was fun. Alright, I did end up pulling over for about a 1 hour nap at the bottom after Denver, after all that crazy roller coaster stuff. It just felt like it was probably a good idea. I was getting a little bit vertigo-y and like I was riding the ocean when I definitely wasn't. So quick little nap, reset my brain a little bit, and we're gonna go finish this thing off. We still gotta go through some of Wyoming and a little bit of Arizona, and then Nevada, straight to Las Vegas. Let's do it. This portion of Colorado is pretty crazy. Like, I'm still doing all the wild, weedy, downhill tunnels, crazy stuff since Denver the whole time. I haven't hit Wyoming yet. That's supposed to be the next one en route. But it's kind of interesting if you look at this whole run as like a challenge or a test. They save like the crazy stuff for the end, which is probably the hardest time to do it because I am so sleep deprived and goofed up right now, man. It is what it is, and it will get done. We out here doing the damn thing at 6:30 Eastern time, which is I guess 4:30 right now in Colorado. I'm excited for about an hour and a half from now when the sun comes up, because there's something about just staring at my headlights and white lights in the dark that just makes me want to go to sleep, you know? But I've noticed once we go through some of these tunnels, they're very well lit. I wake up like right away. The vision blurriness and the like off balance feeling goes away like lickety split. So sooner that sun can make an appearance, the better it is for everyone. We're down to the last like 8.5 hours of this trip, so we're into the single digits. This is a simple little day trip now at this point. Let's go! Let's do it! second night on this trip. Really long, for the reasons we talked about before, being that I was changing time zones, which made me come into the middle and western time zones, feeling like it was a lot later than it was there. So the night just dragged on and on and on, and it was rough, man. Like, I try to play it off a little bit in some of these videos, but I was having a really, really hard time, considering too that I feel like I'm so close to the goal that I don't want to lose time now. And I only had a 1 hour nap instead of a 2 or a 3. I'm like, let's just get after it. And just struggling still after that, waiting and waiting for the sun to finally start coming up and getting through those mountainy areas in Colorado, which is, they're crazy, man. Like, Colorado, I'm sure in the daytime it's all just beautiful and jaw-dropping, but at nighttime, night Colorado is a different creature, and night Colorado kicks my ass this time. And it was for sure the craziest part of the travel for me. I would take waking up to Gunshot Cincinnati over doing another long haul late night Colorado dealio on the second day of a 44 hour drive. No good. But all that to say, it's always darkest right before the dawn, and it is starting to dawn. Finally, the sun is waking up, and I swear that I can feel the difference. I can feel it in my alertness, like immediately. It's, my eyes aren't blurring as much, they're not going double vision, and I don't know, I felt like cognitively like I was awake during those crazy dark Colorado moments, but my eyes just weren't believing it, you know. They're strained, they're just way overstrained. So we're doing it, we're gonna make it. We should be coming into Wyoming right away, and then Utah. I forgot about that in the last video. Wyoming, Utah, a little tiny bit of Nevada, Arizona, and then Nevada. Discovered during this trip, we figured out that Tired Drew is no good at simple arithmetic, as well as I need a real refresher on U.S. geography. So we're not in Wyoming. Wyoming was not coming next. We're in Utah, and as you can see, very different looking than all the states we've hit so far. Getting into the deserty part of the west now, and I don't know if it'll come through on the video because the light is so low right now. It's still only like 6:25 a.m. here for the Utahians, but there is a fog or a haze all over everywhere you look here in Utah, and that's from the forest fires that they've been getting absolutely wrecked with basically all summer long. So we're into that now.